Brakes. The brake system is one of the most critical safety components in any vehicle. Understanding how brake systems work and how to maintain and repair them is essential for automotive technicians. In this lesson, we will explore the key brake system components, including disc and drum brake systems, as well as the various components such as brake pads, rotors, calipers, and master cylinders. Mastery of these components is crucial for the ASE certification test A5 and for diagnosing and repairing brake system problems in the field. Disc and drum brake systems. Brakes are essential for slowing down or stopping a vehicle safely, and disc and drum brake systems are the two main types of braking systems used in most vehicles. Both systems function to convert kinetic energy into heat energy, slowing the vehicle down. However, the components and the way the energy is dissipated differ. Disc brake system. A disc brake system is the most commonly used braking system in modern vehicles, particularly in passenger cars. It consists of several components that work together to slow or stop the vehicle by creating friction against a rotating disc. Components of disc brakes. Brake pads. Made of friction material, the brake pads press against the rotor to create friction and slow down the wheel. Rotors or brake discs. A metal disc that rotates with the wheel. The brake pads press against the rotor to slow the vehicle. Calipers. The caliper holds the brake pads and applies pressure to them, causing them to clamp onto the rotor. Brake fluid. Hydraulic brake fluid is used to transfer pressure from the brake pedal to the caliper. How disc brakes work. When the driver presses the brake pedal, brake fluid is pushed into the calipers, forcing the brake pads against the rotating rotors. This creates friction, which slows the wheel and ultimately stops the vehicle. Drum brake system. Although less common in modern vehicles, drum brakes are still used in some vehicles, especially in rear braking applications. Drum brakes use a different method of creating friction compared to disc brakes, and they have a different design. Components of drum brakes. Brake shoes. The brake shoes press against the inside of the drum to create friction and stop the vehicle. Brake drum. A drum that rotates with the wheel. The brake shoes expand to press against the inside of the drum, creating friction. Wheel cylinder. A hydraulic component that applies pressure to the brake shoes, forcing them against the drum. Brake springs. These springs return the brake shoes to their original position after the brake is released. How drum brakes work. When the brake pedal is pressed, brake fluid is sent to the wheel cylinder, forcing the brake shoes to expand outward and press against the inner surface of the rotating drum. This creates friction, which slows and stops the vehicle. Advantages and disadvantages of drum brakes. Advantages. Drum brakes are more compact and cost-effective. Disadvantages. They tend to overheat more quickly, leading to reduced braking efficiency, and they are less effective than disc brakes at dissipating heat. Key brake system components. Understanding the function of each individual component is key to diagnosing brake issues and performing repairs. Let's take a closer look at the primary components of both disc and drum brake systems. Brake pads. Function. Brake pads are the friction material that presses against the rotors to create the necessary friction for braking. Types of brake pads. Organic. Made of natural materials like rubber, carbon, and Kevlar, organic brake pads are quieter, but wear out faster. Semi-metallic. These pads use a mix of metals and other materials, offering better performance and heat dissipation, but may be noisier. Ceramic. Made from ceramic compounds, these brake pads are quieter, produce less dust, and have a longer lifespan but can be more expensive. Maintenance. Brake pads should be regularly inspected for wear. If the material is too thin, they should be replaced to avoid damage to the rotor. Rotors or brake discs. Function. The rotors are the circular discs that the brake pads press against to slow the vehicle. Common problems with rotors. Warping. Heat buildup can cause the rotors to warp, leading to vibration when braking. Grooving. Over time, grooves can form on the surface of the rotors due to contact with the brake pads, affecting braking performance. Maintenance. Rotors should be resurfaced or replaced if they are warped or excessively worn. Inspecting the rotor thickness is crucial for determining whether it needs to be replaced. Calipers function. The caliper is the part of the brake system that holds the brake pads and applies pressure to them when braking. Types of calipers. Floating calipers. These calipers move horizontally and are used in many vehicles for cost-effectiveness. Fixed calipers. These calipers do not move but instead use multiple pistons to apply force to both sides of the rotor. Common problems with calipers. Seized pistons. Caliper pistons can seize up, preventing the brake pads from properly contacting the rotor. Leaking seals. Leaking seals can cause a loss of brake fluid, leading to decreased braking performance. Master cylinder. Function. The master cylinder is the component that converts the pressure from the brake pedal into hydraulic pressure to engage the brakes. Components of the master cylinder. Reservoir. Stores the brake fluid that is sent to the brake system. Piston. When the brake pedal is pressed, the piston inside the master cylinder forces fluid into the brake lines. Common problems with the master cylinder. Brake fluid leaks. Leaks can occur at the master cylinder seals, reducing brake fluid levels and affecting braking performance. Fading pedal feel. A loss of pressure in the master cylinder can cause the brake pedal to feel soft or spongy. Summary of brake system components. Here's a table showing the summary of brake system components, including their function and common problems. You can pause the video if you want more time to review the table. Conclusion and recap. In this lesson, we explored the components of brake systems, including disc and drum brakes, brake pads, rotors, calipers, and the master cylinder. Understanding how these components work together is essential for diagnosing and repairing braking issues, which is key for the ASE certification test A5 and for effective brake system maintenance in a professional environment.